general time strategy that I followed with regards to covering the syllabus in a span of around 4 to 5 months. The third would be to discuss the current affairs strategy. And fourth, I would tell you how I attempted the paper and how I usually go about attempting a prelims paper. So sharing my sources, talking about history, I read the NCRTs, the new NCRTs which are theme wise, as well as the 6th standard to 8th standard NCRTs initially. Now this was to get a broad understanding of all the aspects of history, and I think they were also extremely useful in trying to create correlations with things that we study today or the contemporary times. So my main source for the NCRT, now throughout my preparation with any of the sources that I am discussing, I heavily relied on the internet also. So wherever I was reading something and I wanted to supplement it with a greater understanding of the topic or to gain additional knowledge, I would always have my internet open and Google, and I would Google each topic, and then whichever whatever content I found useful, I would store that. So that was my initial strategy. Now for polity, I relied on Lakshmikant, and I used to read the articles in the Constitution because I believe strongly in understanding the wordings of the text itself. I also read the NCRTs for polity. Similarly for geography, my major source for the NCRTs again, and geography requires I think a visual understanding. So I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos that are easily available. One source is the Met Office. This is a YouTube channel of Australia's climate department, and they have short videos on the climate topics, and that is what I relied on. I used to also make a lot of diagrams. That was my main. So having a really strong command on environment, even during the prelims preparation, was advantageous to me, especially in the forest service for the mains as well as the interview, because being a service which is majorly in the sector of environment, having a command on these different topics as well as the current developments is useful throughout the preparation. So you can focus additionally on that. I would Google each option, or I would try to go back to my source notes for each option which was present in these questions, and then try to analyze on various fronts how I would answer the question. So I would divide it into 3 parts. I would look at the question, and if I had read this directly in any of my sources, then I would mark it as a knowledge-based question, and I would understand that these kind of questions are to be answered based on reading and revision of your source content. Now, for the second category of questions, these were questions where I would have heard of the topic or had some idea of what was being asked, but I did not have exact knowledge, and I would have to eliminate or guess between certain number of options. Now, to make these intelligent guesses, I think you have to develop the intuition, and this comes with a lot of practice of having a presence of mind. So, for a lot of questions, I actually had not read about in any of my notes or sources. I tried to analyze it with things that I have learned or observed in my real life, in my experiences so far, and I try to bring that kind of perspective in eliminating the options, which is something that gives an extra advantage of 4 to 5 marks to every candidate. So this is again something which comes with practice, but also comes when you are staying composed during the paper. So I think I have shared my prelim strategy, and it is something that every one of you who is attempting the paper has to experience as well as persevere throughout the months to ensure that your attempts are being planned in a very meticulous and strategic manner, and not letting the scores of the mock papers or your general productivity affect what you believe is that you will crack the paper and your conviction that you will be able to clear this exam. So I think being positive throughout your preparation, and even accepting that we cannot always be productive throughout. If you are preparing for a year, there will be challenges that you will be facing. There will be times that will be that you would be able to exceed your own targets, but at the same time there would be times where you would not be able to meet your daily targets or meet the kind of expectation you have of yourself. And I think the most important thing is to understand that as a human being, it is going to be difficult to sustain, but just staying positive, being easy on yourself, and constantly reminding yourself that the cause for which you want to get into the service, I think that helps a lot in staying motivated, in staying calm,